Hi there YouTube, this is the Magnus, bringing you another Total War Warhammer online ladder battle. This time again I'm playing the Warriors of Chaos, as I've been playing them a lot lately, and I think I'm about 8 or 9-0 with a couple wins over the Empire, and some tough fights. So here's a replay against the Empire. This build I built specifically for going up against them. I've got 2 halberds, 5 Chaos Warriors with great weapons. I've got 3 Forsaken. I've got a Fire Wizard with just the 2 buff spells, and he's on a horse. I have 2 Exalted Heroes on foot, and I have a Chaos Lord with the Healing and Toughness Potion, and on a horse as well. My opponent brought 2 Steam Tanks. Kind of felt like he was trying to troll me here. 3 Great Swords, which are also very effective against the Warriors of Chaos. Karl Franz on foot, a little bit unusual. Demigryph Knights with halberds. He was expecting large. Not going to get it from me today. And he has 3 handgunners hidden in the forest as well. So of course, having only foot soldiers, I'm going to move forward right away. The Chaos Warriors with the great weapons are up front, taking some fire from the tanks there. And on the flanks I put the Chaos Warriors with halberds. And the Forsaken I hold back so that I can direct them specifically where I want the extra punch. And also because they are my quickest runners. So you're going to see I'm going to send them over here to try to deal with the handgunners, which I can now see because they're firing at me. Steam Tanks are letting into my Chaos Warriors, but with their armor and their health and just their overall toughness, they're going to be able to hang in there quite a bit. And also these great weapons are going to be able to put a pretty good hurting on the Steam Tank. It's going to go in there and start mowing over my guys. Oh, ouch. Doesn't look like a comfortable way to go. You'll notice my Forsaken and whatnot got tangled up in here. I'm using the Chaos Lord to run over Karl Franz and run about over there. On the left flank, he comes up short of men, of course, so I'm going to be able to pull Forsaken. I can't remember. Yep, nope, I pull him in for the rear charge. Okay. And so basically we've got 2 pits here forming around the Steam Tanks, which are losing health very quickly, as you may have noticed. They're not doing a great job of holding up against all of this damage that I'm bringing. I also redirected my Chaos Lord over here to attack his handgunners. You'll notice he kept 2 of them next to each other. Not a good idea because now they're all engaged in combat, which is exactly what I want, so they can't fire. And I'm going to send both of my Exalted Heroes over to deal with his Karl Franz because I'm doing so well against the tanks. He brings in the Demigryphs, which I didn't even know he had until about this point. They're going to get a nice rear charge there on my Forsaken, and they're definitely the least sturdy infantry I have. He's also going to use them to come over here to try to save Karl Franz, because he's looking pretty haggard after facing off with my Chaos Lord, and also with the 2 Exalted Heroes. So one of my Exalted Heroes is going to run, and it looks like they're doing a pretty good job of protecting him for now. One of the Steam Tanks has gone boom boom, so now I'm really pressing on these great swords. And then over here, of course, I'm really able to put even more work on the other tank. In the meantime, in the background, he successfully chased off my Exalted Heroes, but the Chaos Lord is still causing a lot of problems for his missile troops. And I'm really just trying to keep him over here, because as long as his Lord's here, his Cavalry's here, and his missiles are tied up, it's going to let me continue to just absolutely own in the infantry / tank engagement. And this tank's getting pretty low on health, so I think we're going to see it. Yep, there we go. Kaboom. Another dead Steam Tank. Steam Tanks generally do well against just about everything, but when you bring this much offensive infantry with these great weapons, halberds, all this armor piercing, they're really going to put a hurting on just about anything, including a Steam Tank. Now, if we go back over here, my Lord, because of his potions, is able to hang in here a very long time with the Demigryph Knights and with Karl Franz. I'm going to pull them over here, keep these handgunners tied up as much as I can. These guys have had free reign so far, but as you're going to see now, he's absolutely devoid of infantry, and it's a GG there. So I've faced a number of Empire opponents, which I believe is definitely the toughest faction in the game, with my Chaos Warrior build here, as well as several other factions. But with the Empire, I've seen people bring tanks, I've seen people bring artillery, I've gone up against the net and all that, and been very successful. Now, can I beat top players in a tournament with Chaos? Probably not. But competitive players, I'm really surprised how successful I've been. Now, with how small his army was, just 495 deployed, my kills are going to look a little short, but make no mistake, these guys did a hell of a job. The Chaos Warriors with great weapons did their work. The Halberds were fine. The Forsaken were good as always. The Exalted Heroes were mainly attacking leader units, so they did fine. The Chaos Sorcerer of Fire, buffing is always a huge thing. The Chaos Lord, a lot of kills there, mostly handgunners. No matter what, his great swords are going to do well, and they did well here. They're just a fantastic unit. It's so cost effective and so great at dealing with any infantry. Armored, unarmored, good, bad, expensive, cheap. They cut through everything. So they did lose, but they did get, you know, their share of kills for sure. The one handgunner who was able to keep away from me had a great fight. The tanks definitely didn't pay for themselves, and neither did the Demigryph Knights. They weren't even able to take out my Lord. So this is the composition I'm using against the Empire. I think it's very strong. Like I said, I've had great results with it so far. If you're like me and you like a challenge, or you just love chaos like I do, then I highly recommend it. I will say though, you know, for new players and whatnot, as I've said before, Chaos is a very weak faction, probably the weakest, and definitely with a patch that's coming up on Thursday, it looks like the Dwarfs are getting some more love, so I would say undoubtedly after that, the Warriors of Chaos are going to be the worst faction in the game. But just because they're the worst doesn't mean you can't win. With the right composition, the right tactics, the right strategy, and just the balls that go crazy out there, you can win. So if you have any suggestions, if you're doing something else that's working, or there's a unit you found that's really effective that maybe I ought to have in this army, please let me know. I'd love to know. I love when you guys give me feedback. If you enjoyed the video, if you learned something, please like, please subscribe so I can keep bringing you great content. And until the next time, this is the Magnus. Thanks a lot, and go win on that ladder.